going on with my robotic thing.
Mm-hmm. Anything else to say before we go live?
You've went live.
I know.
You're not catching me out.
I will one day. Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. The end of another week. So tonight we have Craig over there, and we have a man who needs no introduction, so I'm not even going to give him one. You know what I mean? We have Rigga from Spig. Now, Rigga's been on quite a few times, but we've never actually, it was pointed out, it's brought to my attention that we've never actually interviewed him per se. What does that actually mean, per se? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we've never actually asked him, and to be quite honest, I wasn't really too interested.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
However, tonight we are going to do it different. We are going to be asking him questions, and I have sat and prepared a list of questions for him. And so, Kate, I enjoyed interrogating Rigga. Oh, that's right. Should be Kate. Well, an all gentleman panel now. Who's a Laura? See, you need to ask that. Well, that's an unexpected. But good evening, David.
Oh, David's on. Hey. All right, David.
Right. I'll just recap. Tonight we're interviewing Rigga, David, and I made up a list of questions for him, as you can see. Carefully thought out. So this is David. He's one of the other Spig members. Wasn't expecting him on because Rigga threatened me. It was just himself that was coming on. But however, well, you're always welcome, David. Laura's asking who is the best looking on this panel.
Well, the main man that just popped on there, David.
No, I was on at the start.
Bald people are genuinely considered the most handsome anyway, so.
Aye, well, that's Scott's, doesn't it count then because he's ancient?
I don't need to answer.
Did you say old, Craig, or bald?
I said that bald.
All right, bald.
Yeah. Bald. There's
my boss.
David, you are the most handsome man according to Laura.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
Oh, he's got a big enough head as it is.
He's got a type.
I'll start with somebody else. Somebody else is scrambling for their phone as we speak to put their vote in. I'm not going to say who, but it's just something we know. You know what I mean? All right, no, it's another no. Don't go to bother. So, David, looks like you're the eye candy tonight, my man. Sorry.
What you say, Sir Scott?
I said it looks like you're the eye candy tonight.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, he's me and the after it. It's good, as you can see, folks. We're going to try and do it professional, but.
Do you even know the meaning?
Hey, Nigel, buddy. Yes, I do know the meaning of professional. Professional means without any carry on. Professional means like this. So, my guests tonight are Spig, Scotland's Paranormal Investigations Group. We have Rigga Nicol and we have David Anderson joining us tonight, and we have Craig, but we won't say too much about him. Well, I love my husband. I love Rigga and Scott. Well, I only reached friendship status a few days. Yes, I promoted one to friend the other day. So she's not happy about it. I'm still wearing my tea cakes, by the way, doll. You owe me 6 tea cakes. It's not going to be forgotten until the debt is paid. No.
It should be 6 bananas you're sticking to. Fruit.
You might look like a monkey with a balloon, but I certainly am.
You look like the balloon.
You know what
Is this a slagging show?
When your neck disappears. How many of you can do that? Make your neck disappear in one easy move.
That's not to be proud of.
That is, see, I'm going to have nightmares, man.
It's just a pure trying to put my binoculars on, but it's not really
Uncle Fester.
Hey, easy, David. Easy. Remember whose panel you're on.
Aye. Aye, but he's getting in it, can't he?
Aye, he's kind of like that. Anyway, where were we? Aye, we're going to talk to these two guys down here, and Craig will put his 10 pence in, and no doubt Laura will, who's sitting very near Craig. Anyway, you should be eating two
As we speak.
It's two days till my anniversary.
Oh, well.
I mean, it's just been pointed out, 2 days to my heart attack anniversary. That's the kind of thing you remember. You say, you know, people celebrate birthdays and weddings and, you know, anniversaries, but, you know, that's what I'm celebrating, a heart attack anniversary.
You'll not forget that.
I know, you know, I don't get any cards for me. I mean, I don't think there's any cards for heart attack, happy heart attack, you know, whatever it is. Anyway, carry on. Enough about me. Not sure it's not about me. It's about these guys down here. They're special guests. I mean, so who wants to go first? I'm going to ask the usual question because this was Rigga's idea, by the way, not mine.
Yeah.
Right.
He's been begging me for an interview for weeks. So, okay. And I told him, right, come on, you might as well, because I saw it all on telly anyway. Nobody's free tonight, so that Rigga will be fat boy for Penny Lee. The porker. All I say is affectionately known the Penny Lee Porker.
I'd be careful.
Anyway, right, we'll try again, right?
Yeah.
We'll try again. How did you get involved in the paranormal? Who wants to go first? Somebody speak and shut me up.
I started the paranormal in 2000. Started watching all these dark shows on the telly, and I thought I could do that. And I started my own group. Went for 13, 14 years. And then I closed the group down to a lot of nonsense within the group. And I decided to move on and carry on doing investigating with me and my daughter until I went into wee bits and bobs in various groups. And then I seen the advert Rigga put up looking for people or looking for somebody, and I applied to that, and I've been there ever since.
What about you, Hatman? Sorry, Rigga.
Same sort of thing as David. Watching all these shows, I've always been interested in it since a young age. One of my good friends was going into a paranormal investigation, joined a team, but he kept it quiet because he was embarrassed. But I found it anyway, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. Can I come along one night? Went along. A wee woman, Margaret, took me into the kitchen, told me everything. I was 18 at the time, so this is well before social media and all that sort of stuff. Told me everything, how my mum passed away, stuff, just into depth stuff. I was like, oh. And then we went out to, I think the first time I went was Ardrossan Castle. And I just had a video camera and I was with Margaret. And she said, there's something in that corner of the castle. So I'm just panning the camera, nothing. We went back, reviewed the footage, get to that bit, Margaret saying, there's something in the corner of the castle. And just as she said that, you see what looks like maybe size of a tennis ball or something, a light, and it came out and it went towards the camera and hit the camera, and the camera went all that kind of static. But I never seen it at the time, the recording. It was just when we reviewed it, and basically ever since, that was it. Just hooked on it. It's not been constant, but it's not been like for 18 to a month now. It was had breaks in it and stuff like that. Decided I was in the other teams. Decided to start Spig. Again, took off well. folk had left, folk had come in, folk had left, folk had come in, and it would just be like myself and David that was left. So we had a chat, and we thought, right, we're not rushing into it. We want to bring in the right people, and that's why we brought Stephen in, and then we brought Liz in, and the rest is history so far. So, aye.
Hey, Facebook user.
Yep.
I might as well ask Craig. I don't want Craig feeling left out. You know, even though I know the answer, I just ask him anyway, because he's sitting there all humble and quiet, you know.
I'm listening to you guys.
He looks like one of these Spanish Inquisition guys. The guys who used to kick out the business.
Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition.
It's Dennis. Hey, Dennis, buddy.
Hi,
Dennis.
Dennis.
I
So-
don't know.
How did the paranormal start out for you?
Well, I'd always been kind of spiritual, grew up in a Christian family, always believed in an afterlife, heaven, hell, thing like that. And I really kind of like started getting into it. I think when we started, like David said, we started watching these, shows from over the pond, Ghost Adventures and everything. We got really quite into them. And then for some reason, basically, Laura used to work with Sarah, and we were kind of like talking about that. And I think Sarah actually mentioned that she was into the paranormal, and they had, her and this completely really handsome bloke that she was living with at the time kind of had started this group. And so we started kind of like just hanging out with Scott and Sarah, and we started going to basically doing the lives and going to the lives, and it just kind of grew from there. But I've always, I used to sort of like see ghosts. We've had basically our pets, Shelley and Mew, kind of like tend to haunt where we live. We see little shadows going round and everything. So that had already been happening, and then of course that highlighted our fascination with it, and it kind of just grew from there. And like I said, with Scott and Sarah, it just kind of exploded and into what it is just now, So they've got a lot to blame for kind of like late nights and cold and sort of like dark abbeys and dark alleyways and things like that. It's
The alleyways. That's me.
and dark kind of like churchyards and everything like that. So it's their fault basically that I'm here, but it's been a great ride. About 3 years, 3 years. I think it's been a really great ride.
We've been about 4 years this June, July, something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it about 4 years this July or something we started?
Aye.
I'm talking to my advisor who's over there. I'm talking to somebody who knows this empty space. I'm just asking the curtains or something like that, how long ago was it started? So that's when we started. I'll ask myself later on how I started, and I'll answer myself back later on. So
How did you get started?
how did I get started? Well, they asked. Since nobody else in the panel decided to ask me. I mean, I don't know how you started, actually. I used to watch. I've been into blood and guts since I was kind of like my serial killer days. When I was like 13, 14, watching horror movies and that, and then I started, as you say, David, the ghost shows.
Yeah.
The really famous one. There's Mr. Thompson in from across the pond as well. Evening, Eric.
Eric.
I started watching all the ghost shows, and then I'd never done an investigation or sod all like that. I'd watched them, but I'd never done it. And Sarah and I started PIH, and that was the first investigation we ever done. I think there was with Greyfriars. before we found out about the band. I want to emphasise that. And that was that. I was into. I've always been interested in ghosts and spirits and death and stuff. I'm making my sound sound really morbid here, aren't I? I've always been into death. Undertaker. I applied to be a mortician one time. Didn't get it obviously. This was years ago. I applied to work in a morgue. Anyway, I was too. This was too deep. You know what I mean?
That was shocking.
That was very good. Hey, wait to see my next question is here. Hold on. Oh, right side, sorry. So who came up with the name Spig? Where did that pop up for?
I came up with it. I had a look about for teams in Scotland. A lot of them were like where they were based, basically, like Glasgow Paranormal, Paisley Paranormal. I'm just using examples. A lot of the names kind of were the same, but just kind of mixed around. So I just thought it was important to get. Main thing was to get the name Scotland put in. So then that way, obviously the Scotland were based in Scotland, and then I was just messing about. At first it was Scottish Paranormal Investigations Group. I thought, yeah. Then I made it Scotland's Paranormal Investigations Group, and then obviously Spig for short, because it is a bit of a tongue twister saying Scotland's Paranormal Investigations Group all the time. So Spig, but I think Spig just fits in nicely as well.
Yeah. I like the name Spig.
Cool.
It's better than saying your full name. And it's because I think in the beginning when we first started hanging out, you know what I'm saying, bro? I kept forgetting your name.
Aye, Spig's just a lot easier. And it's got to be right as well. So
they work well as a team. Obviously, we've been out with you a few times, and we quite a few times still to come. They work well as a team because you are laid back and relaxed. You don't have a poker up your backside, and you don't want to grieve. I say Dave is funnier than Rigga.
Yeah, of course. I just try to be funny.
It's what?
Rigga's one there.
We'll try not to talk about Rigga's flatulence, eh? Do you know?
Trying to keep it at a level, man.
No, Scott, just things about you were chatting about working well and relaxed. Obviously, you're aware of we've known each other for a good while now through the paranormal. Being relaxed and stuff like that helps investigation rather than maybe having somebody else that goes on like a sergeant major. You know what I mean? It just brings the morale down and stuff like that. So I think just being relaxed and just easy going. And it's something that investigation you could act the way you want and still get no responses, but we just act the way we decide on what we're going to do. If somebody on the team isn't happy with it, then we don't do it. So
sorry, carry on, dude.
Oh no, I said that's the way it should be in a team.
That's the way it should be. It's like I say, Sergeant Major, I think we've been out with two individuals who shall remain nameless that have been kind of Sergeant Majoring, right? This is what we're doing, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. And I just want to get him.
Yeah.
aye.
One individual in particular is always demonic, and the other one didn't have a clue what they were doing. Not that we
We experienced it once, but it was years ago. Again, I'll no name who it is or the location. It was myself, David, and two investigators that were in the team at the time, and we went, and this guy was just Sergeant Major, and it just didn't work. I ended up getting a headache and all this sort of stuff, and I don't know if it's just because the way he was, but he couldn't enjoy it. He just could not enjoy it. So, and the thing is, you're travelling an hour, 2 hours to a location, and you're working with something like that, which you're going to expect to get people like that. But just because this guy was in the field longer than what I was or whatever, it was his way or no way, basically, and that's not how you conduct an investigation. Even if you're collaborating with another team or two other teams, you should all still work together and come up with ideas and stuff like that. Again, if somebody's like, nah, I don't really fancy that, but we'll know there. You know what I mean? But this guy was just, it was his way or no way, basically.
No, actually, it's not very often I agree with Rigga, but I know I totally agree 100%. And see, we had one person that a couple of times, and we had a location that we'd done about 4 or 5 times, and we'd go to some activity. It wasn't anything major, you know. But then we took this person along, and they were going, you know, there's a demon standing in that corner. I thought, what? and I've been there myself before, and, you know, at night time, I know what it says, do not get into that corner because there's a demon.
Famous words.
And there was a stairwell there as well, and don't go in there. There's a very negative, evil energy in there. Right, okay. See what I mean? Like, no, I'm no. This is no use.
No.
And as you say, you know, they might have been doing it longer, but it doesn't make them any better.
No, it doesn't.
You can, as I've said on, being there with 2 groups. He's not think this is part of the problem in the paranormal these days. That there's groups out there. And there's some, you know, 1 person, 2 people in it that are trying to be, look at me, you know.
Trying to be something they know.
Aye. And basically, we don't swear on this channel, but they just make an ass of themselves.
Yeah. The thing is, throwing out to Scott, you can tell when you hear them, you know they're false.
Aye, exactly. I always say you can tell when somebody's faking it with their face, because there's certain faces you can't fake.
I don't get it how people would act like that. Like, just be yourself, and that's how, like, without try to like big Spig up and big about things, like everybody we've had it with, well, that's investigating or somebody's property or business or whatever. Everybody that's been involved with us, they've always said the same thing, exactly what you said, or just laid back, easy to get on with. They feel like they've been in the team, you know what I mean? They feel like they're part of the team on that night. And that's just because what you see is what you get. We're not going to make stuff up and there's a demonic thing there and stuff like that. Like, that's what's important about it. But when you're out with people that they go into the middle of a field, or there's 6 demonic entities there and stuff like that, you just call bull crap and you're like, no.
They'll go into the middle of a field and they say, I'm picking up a horse. It's a horse.
And again, it just affects the investigation. It affects everybody.
And the other side of the coin is that it affects, you know, the people that are there, team-wise. You wonder, what does it do to, you know, whatever spirits are there? What do they think of it?
It disrespects everybody. That's what it is. The property, even if it is abandoned, you're disrespecting that. You're disrespecting spirits. You're disrespecting the folk out there you're working with. You maybe met for the first time. You're disrespecting your own team members. You're just disrespecting everyone.
The thing is, if you're doing that on a private house investigation, it's making the owner uncomfortable when somebody says that. Tell us, let's ignore that push. You know what I mean?
See, just on that note, there's a YouTube channel, and I can't remember the name of it. But what it was, the 2 boys that they ghost hunting, they're paranormal investigators, right?
Oh, is that the brothers?
No, I can't remember their name. What's the name? No, you think they're twin paranormal, they're double balls as well, but this was another 2 guys. And they hired an Airbnb, right? And they never stated it was an Airbnb. And they were going about demonic stuff, and obviously the owner of the Airbnb seen this. They never mentioned they were hiring for a paranormal investigation. They were just hiring to stay in it because for whatever reason. So I go on YouTube. The owner had seen it, and still they knew. I think she's in the middle of suing them because she lost so much business.
Mm-hmm.
due to these two people going in, disrespecting her property, and saying there's demonic this, demonic that, they get attacked, things like that, and she's lost a lot of business through it.
They're Dennis, a nice compliment for you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Dennis.
You know, it chokes me to say, but I would agree. You know, David's brand new, he's fine. Rigga's a dodgy one, but David's totally fine.
I'm surprised it took you this long. I'm surprised it took you. I thought it took you longer to suss that out, Scott.
I sussed that months ago, you know. Long time ago.
When they want to put us up.
It was David I would want to be pals with, really. I used Rigga to get to David.
The pains of the operation.
Oh, he's run away.
He's run
away.
Come back, Rigga. Come back. You'll be back in a minute. Is that carry on with his phone, is it not? I think is that carry on with his phone. Yeah, I don't know why he just doesn't buy a new phone. You know what I mean?
I need to use my laptop. I can do it with this laptop, but see when we do our own one, I use my phone because I can't hear the EPs getting played back on here.
Right, see there he's there.
It's back.
We thought you'd been up.
No, my phone starts going all that crackly.
He's off for a private fart.
Air matron.
Hey, that was a good impression of Kenneth Williams there, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was going to be a good impression. So how do you go about using your locations? You know, do you do any research or do you just put a pin in the map?
Pretty much pinning them up. There is other locations that we've been to and we've returned to, i.e. we've had some good evidence and we want to return again, or it's easy accessible and stuff like that. There is ones that you'll go to and it's you're a bit. Sometimes you'll get history on places, or sometimes I'll be back and forward with folk. But it's hard to get locations off of people for obvious reasons, because you'll get folk that will eventually go in and vandalise it, which is just going to happen, which is a shame. But mainly, I'll have a look about. We kind of, this time of the year, we kind of stay away from abandoned locations now, just because of the weather. Even travelling to it, you might be alright travelling there, but the weather could pick up and get nasty quite quick, as you know yourselves. And then it's the fact of travelling back in it. So we kind of tend to maybe private sort of stuff now. But a private location tomorrow. But we all kind of put our chip in, basically, and put our ideas across and stuff like that. So
I think that's where you're better with a small team. We used to be a lot bigger team wise, and it was, as Dave was saying earlier on the other two, it was just too much hassle. You know, and
Scott, we had 22 people at one point.
Yeah, we had 22 people spread through different teams, and it was just a nightmare.
It was a mess.
Aye, trying to keep track of them, be a nightmare.
It was a total, and we did think of getting it up at one point. Because it was just getting too much, and every different ideas, and they were all bickering amongst each other, and trying to organise an investigation was a nightmare.
yeah.
You know, if you say, right, he's free on Wednesday, right, I'm free. No, she's no free. Well, with Thursday, well, she's free, but then I'm no free. You know, you kind of throw the pen up in the air.
Yeah.
And you're better with just a small team.
Definitely.
That you can, you know, and
you can trust them.
Because, see, we had 22, and it was just a shambles. Probably 22, I don't know, but so we went on a diet, so to speak.
Because we had Scottish, English, Welsh.
I'm getting reminded here.
The American team.
Because we Scotland, England, and Wales, you know, so we slimmed down Eric's free all the time. But no problem there, Eric, the distance, because you're kind of like that point.
Get a plane ticket.
But once you get over here, my friend, you're welcome with us at any point, any time. Just contact David, don't contact Rigga.
Also, Eric, thanks for the REM pod. We called the REM pod after yourself, Eric. We've been using Eric every investigation now, basically, so we've not had any responses with him yet, but I'm pretty sure we will. But again, Eric, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So obviously we've been out with these a few times, you know, and you like your tech and what have you. What's your kind of favourite bit of tech?
You know what David's going to say?
That's mine.
How long have you had that?
20 years.
20 years? Is it not out of date by now?
No.
No? Well,
I used to have two. And I sold one and bought a dog.
You bought a dog?
Eh?
You sold one and bought a dog?
Yeah. Yep.
I suppose that's
like, to me, I've had my money's worth at that one.
I
only paid 20 for that one. The other one I paid £17.50. The other one I paid £27. And if you want one, they're on eBay, and the odd one's about 3 to 4 grand.
No, cheers, Dennis, buddy. What about you, Mr. Rigga?
I would say the DR60, just because when you're doing recording, you're listening back and you're hearing it as you're listening back, just for that. And then when we went to Let Castle in Dublin,
to
hear Irish accents coming through it, it's just unexplainable.
Yeah.
But the DR60, if I was to take the DR60 away, I would probably say the recent bit of equipment that the team's got, and it's going to be the tripwire.
Yeah.
That's a good light up one, isn't it?
It covers. There's two in the team, but they can cover so much ground, and then when you get that response, don't get me wrong, they're good. They're also good for. We done a private house investigation, and we set them up on the stairs, so they were picking up electrical feeds, so they were spiking. So in a way, it's good as well, because then you can go, right, that's what's causing it, so we'll move it to here. We'll usually leave them sitting for a while before asking any questions, just to see if any spikes happen. When there's nothing that happens, then you get that response. Like when I think there was a time at the Spig location, the full strip just went right up. But I would say them. But first bit, definitely DR60.
It's true you're saying that you get responses in certain accents.
Mm-hmm.
We've had that before, we've been using, we've had that before. We get that at Tripwire is my next one I'm making.
Oh, right. Brilliant, Eric.
Cool.
Just let us know the price, Eric, and I'll purchase one off you.
Let us know, Eric, because we don't do a lot of tech, because I'm thick, basically. You know, you need to agree with me, dear.
See, we've got a good amount of tech. We don't always use it though. There's times we'll just use the odd simple things, REM pod, cat balls, but we don't really tend to use all it, because it's a pain packing it up. See that part of the end of the investigation? I hate walking about and packing everything up.
Sometimes I think you overload a location with tech. And I think they don't know what to do, the spirits. They don't know what to go to.
Right.
That's just what I think. But
no, I totally agree, David. I've told this wee story many times, and that's not like it's hilarious. You know, I've got a bad sense of humour. This kid from Edinburgh, he done Greyfriars. Hey, user. Even though he shouldn't have been, but he was all kitted out in all the gear. You think he was going to war with Iraq or Saudi Arabia or something like that. You know, he was war. And he must have spent about 2 hours in one of the tombs. Also, there's a lot of tombs that are open. He spent about 2 hours setting all his stuff up, and he got deadly. He got nothing. And I thought it was so funny. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, when we set it up and he turned it all on, it was like yellow, green, red, you know, the whole place was lit up. Folk in the flats next to him was, what the, you know, in there. And he got absolutely nothing. Now, see if I was a spirit, you know, I would have ended up waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bugger it, I'm off to Canongate. This guy's taking forever. You know, I'm in the folk. I'm away. But he lit the whole place up, and I thought, no, mate, you know. And but this same guy says he gets scratched by the Mackenzie poltergeist. For that, it was 3 years ago, wasn't it? Me.
But
That individual gets scratched by Mackenzie poltergeist.
I would have been.
Aye. That was, it happened on a live or not. He was filming, and you could tell it was set up because it was like late at night and it was Edinburgh and it was freezing, but he rolled his sleeves up. You know, and saying,
So they could see where to get them.
he rolled them up with that. I've not been scratched yet. But, good for you. He said that a few times. Still not been scratched. And then he went off camera, and all you heard was, "Oh, you bugger." Oh, you bugger. And he came back and said, "Look, I've been scratched." And he laughs. But you could tell the way the scratches did, you know, had been done with fingernails. And I mean, if a spirit scratched me, should have said, "I've been." Oh, you bugger.
No, you'd have been out there.
I wouldn't run.
No, you'd have been outside it.
My language would be kind of different, but
You'd have started with an F.
something like that, aye. Like, you know, or flabbergasted. Something like, you know, oh, I'm flabbergasted. I get scared, but oh, this guy, and I just made a poop and mockery of it. You know,
I don't know how people what they get out of it. These people didn't. So, I mean,
Attention.
Yeah.
So they're after attention, that's it.
do you know what? A lot of people are that stupid. They buy it here. That are watching it. Didn't they?
aye.
Yep.
Aye.
And I don't know how.
That's how if you get people that watch shows it for entertainment purposes and then they come out in an actual investigation with a legit team, you probably find that they would get bored quite quick because you're expecting scratching and all that sort of stuff, things getting flung and stuff like that. But if they come in an actual proper investigation, you probably find within the first hour or two they'd be like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Aye, that's, I think there should be some kind of program out there that shows you the I was going to say the dark side, no, the dark side.
An online investigation, aye.
The real side.
One.
I mean, this individual he also went hunting for Bigfoot in a public park in Edinburgh.
For travel.
He done it alive.
I'm 6'6". I was Bigfoot.
I said to somebody before. I said to somebody before about how did it all make show a paranormal investigation for what it is, really. Right? Said the thing is, I said the only problem is it would take too long and people would get bored watching it.
But
So,
aye, there's that side of it. At least they would get to see, you know, because you get people that'll get it, start with the paranormal and they'll go out and they're expecting headstones to be flying about the graveyard and stuff like that. You know?
I tell you one, you know what I love? you probably notice it now that I'm mentioning it. There's teams that will go live at an investigation, and you can put a wee description up or whatever before you go live. But they've already put a description up saying poltergeist activity caught on camera. So straight away they've pre-planned this. Because how the hell can you say you're going to get poltergeist activity and post that up on your live in their investigation? And lo and behold, they get poltergeist activity or shadow man seen next to the door, and then they'll go live, and it's just to draw people's attention. Because how can you say you're going to get a shadow man or a shadow figure at a door? Because you don't know what's going to happen in an investigation. But these people do. They know what's going to happen, and it's always demonic. It's always poltergeist activity or demonic or shadow man or John gets scratched. I don't know. Jimmy gets tugged. I don't know. But they can see that this is going to happen.
Or most of these things happen out the blue. So, you know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, look at the swinging door, for instance.
Well, there's an instance, aye. That out the blue. Yep.
That was a perfect example. We were just standing talking, and I hadn't even pressed the go live.
That's right.
Button. I was just about to, and then the door went. We were lucky enough, but it went another 2 or 3 times.
That's right.
On
see,
live.
It's different. Obviously, one of the live at the time when that happened, me, you and David witnessed this and we caught it again, thankfully. But that's all right if it went and we never captured it, and then you went live and put it up a wee thing above the live, caught door getting unhinged, and then that way you're stating it has happened, that we're going to try and do it again. But to put something like poltergeist activity before you've even started the investigation, how does that work?
Yeah.
What do you guys say you feel about when there's 2 things I want to ask you about? One is when you get somebody put a photograph up, you know, and they'll say apparition caught in camera, spirit, but they've got circles and big arrows and all the photograph, you know, like with flashing lights and all, you know.
Scott, I don't think they should put the arrows in it. They should just put the pictures in and see what everybody's opinion is yet without telling you. Because I think they're putting stuff into people's mind before they look at the picture, if you know what I mean, for the answer.
And see when you look at a lot of these as well, and I'm not having a go at anybody whatsoever, but if you take a picture, it doesn't matter how clear you've took a picture, how clear that picture is, when you start zooming in, it causes disfigurement in the picture, because you start seeing all the wee pixels and stuff like that. And if you look hard enough, you could take a picture of a tree or a cloud, and if you look hard enough, you will probably find something that can resemble a face or something like that. That's why we say, obviously, we call it pareidolia. But that's majority of the time what it is.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely you'll get anything like that. There's a time, David, you'll remember at the Spig location, it was just myself, David and Stephen. We went in and we decided we're going to use minimum equipment. We're going to ask if Edward can show himself, if he's able to show himself, whether that's with our own eyes, whether that's photograph, footage, or whatever. And we were working on that for hours, and we took one picture in a hallway. I think it was the bottom in the hallway. And funnily enough, there is a figure standing at the door. There's somebody standing at that door. And you can see it clear as day. Like, you wouldn't even need to highlight it. You can see it clear as day, an actual figure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also, we've done this Spig location with you 2 or 3 times, and there is, you know, there are people there. You know, there are spirits there, especially, you know, Edward, I know. And there was that night that we heard the wee lassie saying, hiya, hello, whatever it was.
I'm here.
We was talking the other night on a show about that, everybody heard it at the same time.
That's right.
You know, it wasn't a case of one person heard it and everybody else is, you know, No, I never heard that, but we all heard it, and we all stoked at the exact same time. And it was definitely a child.
Yes, that's right.
And
Yeah.
the other thing that gets me is when people post and say, "Oh, we got tons of evidence, fantastic night," but you never see any of it.
Yeah.
Don't post it.
It's important to, like, we Lapwing Lodge. I spoke to David. I think I brought this up here as well, Scott. We booked that. And I think it was just before David came into the team. And we booked it. It was all, you pay on the night, everything was organised. 24 hours before, I got a message saying, is there going to be photos, footage? And I says, well, aye. And he went, well, we can't have you investigating. And then I emailed saying, well, that's what we do, that's how we document it. You know what I mean? Because you want to document each investigation, whether it's you get nothing or whatever, or you post something up just for a bit of advice or whatever. But you always want to show what you've got in the investigation. You know what I mean? Even if that's just taking random photos of the place and posting them up, it gets the members on the group involved as well. They get to see what you're up to as well. It also logs in what you've been doing through that year as well. But for that one to say, oh, we don't allow cameras or anything like that, I'm like, what? You've got to document it. But then, as you said, you do get people that they say they've captured this and captured that, and they never ever put it up.
No, you wait for months, you know, and you know, I mean, if you go in and investigate, it's happened to us many times. No doubt it's happened to you. You go in an investigation and nothing happens. Look, we were out and we spent 3 hours, 4 hours by the graveyard, and we get nothing. It was dead. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
That was a wee joke there. All right, never mind.
And then you could go back to it again. You could go back the next time and get hundreds. Get lots of activity.
I mean, look at Alloway Kirk. We've done Alloway Kirk a few times. One night we were there and we picked up a wee lassie walking about, and one of the cat balls came flying off the fence. After we thought about that one, because there were certain individuals there, and it's possible that it was, you know, pinged.
Yeah.
But I look back at the footage with two cameras covering it. But the way this person was standing, it was hard. Plus, it was dark. It was hard to tell, you know, if they'd actually moved or not, because they were wearing dark clothes. The graveyard was dark, so it was you could, if they pinged, you would be able to tell.
Yeah.
But we did activity at Alloway Cup quite a few times. And then one night we went, and we just walked in to the graveyard, and I don't know what it was. It was just a kind of atmosphere that says we're getting nothing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know if Craig was there, Sarah was, and Laura was there. In fact, Laura got her backside felt at Alloway Cup. That's how active it was one night for us. She got woohoo, you know, her whistle felt. But there was one night we walked in and we knew right away we're getting nothing. And I think we stayed there for about 15, 20 minutes. I was told, well, let's get him, you know, because we're
That's part of it.
You just get a feeling when you walk in whether or not it's going to be open or whether or not it's kind of like heavy, and it's just, you know, you got to trust your instincts, you know.
Yeah.
And if it's not working out, it's not working out.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the point?
It doesn't make you anything special in the paranormal because you might catch something with another team, doesn't it?
Nah, just a luck.
But you're going to get these cabbages basically that are just going to keep doing it, and just go on with it. Whereas your team, you just go, you don't brag about it, you know, you don't say we've caught William Wallace on camera or whatever, you know, you just go, you do your investigations, you put up your results, and you tell people what you think it says, you know, with your I'll come to your other show actually. But you don't ram it down people's throats.
No.
You know, you don't say this is. That really gets my. This is.
Well, I've got an example. I actually sent you the footage, Scott. So we were at the Spig location, myself, David, and Liz. Stephen couldn't come that night. So, David, you'll remember this, it was there long ago.
Aye, I got you.
Pull up outside my house, I was just getting out, and David was going through footage, and he's like, "No, surely no, it can't be." So we're like, "What is it?" So this is like 3 a.m. We're standing in the middle of the road outside my house, looking at this footage. See the excitement. I'm not even going to lie, I was nearly greeting because I was like, I cannot believe this. We were away out at this time, and we seen the figure passed again, and I was like, I cannot believe this, man. Liz is stunned, and you can see she was like shaking, like, what the hell? We're all like, oh no way! We're so excited. I came in 3 a.m, woke Lindsay up just to show her this footage. Couldn't sleep that night because I was so excited just to share it.
It does.
And then it turns out we debunked it. And honestly, I just went for up here into there. But the point I'm putting across is as well that just shows you how passionate you are when it comes to the paranormal. Because if you don't share that passion, then you're never going to get that excitement up there. You know what I mean? And then to find out it's debunked, just to go bang straight down, absolutely gutted. But obviously, I was planning to get that shared out because it's something that you would obviously get your critics and stuff like that. That's what comes with it. But we debunked it. However, we could have played along and said, "Look what we've got." You know what I mean? Look at this. But we debunked it, and that's a big factor in it. But honestly, I was absolutely gutted. I was gutted, man.
Good friends, GSI checking in. I think that's John Boy. I'll talk to you soon, young man. They are down in I was going to say Nottingham Forest. They're in Nottingham. But Rigga does get quite emotional. That's what I'm going to ask you about Rigga. He does get quite emotional, doesn't he? Because I witnessed it when him and I did Loudon Kirkcastle a few months back now, and he's seen a dark shadow down the back end of it. I never get to see anything. Every other bugger sees stuff like dark shadows. That day it's there when you seen the guy walking across the car park.
Yeah.
You seen the door shutting?
I seen the door shutting.
Yeah.
I seen the door shut, but I didn't actually see a figure. I mean, we did Sanker Castle, and there were 5 or 6, and they all seen what they described as a white mist at different times. It was Dalcahan, the castle at the back for Dalcahan, and they all see that Laura was there as well. She's seen it, and they all saw this what is described as a white mist going by what used to be the windows of the doors. But it was a different time, and it wasn't a foggy night, it was a clear night. I never seen the bugger. You know, like that. Nothing. When you seen the guy walking across the car park, I didn't see him, but you did.
I never seen him.
I know you never seen him either. But I always feel left out. What's wrong with me? How can somebody?
About like Mind the Bank Child, that little man, and me, Liz, and Craig seen the figure going out the gate.
It's there.
Running towards it. I think we were only 3 seen it.
I never got to see it, but that night at Loudon, that was a good night actually, because you know Rigga saw. I'll let Rigga tell you because he's the one that saw it, not me.
Well, obviously it was just myself and Scott. I think it was the last minute. I think Scott, you just said, "Are you free? You want to give it?" That's like cool. But we came up with an idea of getting a wee bit of string across and got my bells and stuff like that. And we had the ring light behind it. But as we were talking, I was facing Scott, but I was just off centre a bit, and something had passed the light. So it crossed the light, so obviously you would see that light kind of dulling down. But as I turned quickly, it went from one side of the hedge to the other, and it was probably about 6 foot plus, and it wasn't an animal. And there was the interesting thing is we weren't far away from it, and there was no noise. There was not one single noise. So if you've got somebody walking there, a living person that's in there with us at that time and they're sneaking about, you're going to hear them coming out of a bush and get into another bush. And it was as quick as this, it just went, and there was not a single noise.
But it was nearly it was not happy, but it was upset. I thought I was going to have to give him a wee huggy wuggy.
You know me by now, you're probably sick of me saying it, but I'll go with that. It's just a thing that happens. But again, I'm alright. I'm all dead excited when it comes to things like that. But I'd imagine other people are as well. But it's just look, when I go back to that figure crossing the door when we were in the Spig location at the time, that we thought this was the point we were in the Spig location, but it turns out that we were in the Spig location. And it was actually David that went to go and get, was it a REM pod, David?
I mean, batteries.
And but we thought, because we thought we were outside, didn't we, at that point?
Yeah.
And honestly, man, I was 3 o'clock in the morning outside there, we're off. What? I'm really green. Wake Lindsay up at 3 in the morning, check this. And she's like, what is that? Look at this.
I was surprised you were breathing.
Yeah. Getting back to Loudon, mind the time we were there, Rigga, and me and you seen the figures kicking out for the ball.
That's right. Child type.
Yeah.
Because what was it? We tried a different experiment, wasn't it? We tried like a strobe experiment that was like a strobe light that was just constantly. And we thought, obviously, being a paranormal investigator, you've got to look to debunk stuff. So we went to debunk it, thinking, right, maybe it was a gravestone.
Yep.
Nothing. There was no gravestone there or nothing, but it was like childlike, and it was like that's the wall, and it was going.
Looking out, watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. See, we also we're doing a lot of Loudon and up in the I know, but Loudon never fails to deliver. You know, and you know sometimes you know yourself, you might go some nights and you don't get a lot. But Loudon's a weird place because we obviously we've been there with yourselves. We were there with Paranormal Exposures, Cat and Will when they were on holiday, and you all pick up on the same thing. A child.
Yeah.
So we picked up on it as well, and the one of the most interesting things was an investigation with you guys and Rigga. You were doing the blind spirit box. You were against the wall, and me, David. In fact, I was beside David, and we were a good, I don't know, 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah,
a good wee distance. And I said, "Can you tell me the little girl's name?" And the kid says right away, Lisa.
aye.
And
One of the recordings asking my age, and she says 8. I have 6 or 8. I don't remember. So,
but I don't know twice a week at different times, and we always get the name Lisa through. So we know there is a little girl there. Same as we know that James Dempster's there and his wife Christina's there. Because, and even that night, Rigga, you seen the figure. We put on the necrophonic no long after it. And I says, was that Mr. James Dempster that passed? And it was a strong Scottish male accent. Right away says, yes. You know, and just get back to what you were saying about accents. Now, anybody could come in and say, you know, well, it's a necrophonic, there's loads of words in there already. Fair enough, you know, but when you get a strong Scottish accent straight after you've asked a question, then you need to think about that one. And if you put it together with everything else that, you know, ourselves, you know, it all ties in. And then the owner of the cottage, he's reported activity up there. Now this guy's getting nothing to gain. He'll not even come on camera because he's not interested in publicity or anything like that. But he's told you some things that have happened up at the cottage. So we tried one night down at the Kirk asking, you know, who is it that visits the cottage? And I says, is it Christina, the wife, James Dempster's wife? And I says, if it's Christina, can you make that box of K2 go to yellow? And it went to yellow. And the owner, he was there. He was there, and Laura was there. And they both seen it. And I said, can you do that again if it's Christina that visits up at the house? And it went straight to yellow, because obviously that was their house back in the 1800s. That was the night the K2 came off. That the headstone. Now, you guys know you can put stuff on that headstone and nothing moves. It'll no fly. One night the K2 came flying off it.
That the one in with the railings on it?
Aye.
Yeah.
The big one. We've sat a toy train there, and it's been sitting there for over a year. And it sat there in the exact same place for months. We put this K2 on and it came flying up. And I said, was that Christina that knocked it off? And it came back as yes.
Yeah.
You know, so London is, you're talking about debunking and that. How can you debunk stuff like that? Even when you get the number one.
Yeah. He even got it through the DR60 as well, mine.
Aye.
So, even with the going back to the necrophonic, I think to me that's one of the better apps. I think it's one of the better ones I've used. I think you get better results through it.
Well, David, remember when we went to Let Castle? There was Dublin accents coming through that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
and was it not a time where we get a name through it? Can't remember the name. We get a name that came through it, and then we decided turn it off and put straight into the spirit box, and we get the name through the spirit box, and then we turn that off and done an EVP straight away, and we get the exact same name through the EVP.
There is loads of apps out there, you guys say, you know, and the majority of them are filled with word banks, whatever you call it. I say tech thick me, but they're filled with a word bank, you know. But it's when you get sentences through,
Yeah.
the words you can debunk, possibly, but these things aren't designed to put an intelligent sentence together.
It's when you ask a question like, can you tell me the name of a person that's here at the moment in the team or whatever, and you get the name coming through straight away.
Aye. Weird.
Who is it you want to speak to? You know, is there a certain person in the team you would like to speak to? And then you get like David. Clear as day, like Scottish David.
Well, I mean, Sarah's been called all sorts at Loudon.
All sorts of names. I mean, that was during I mean, it was the blind thing that I did, and it came through with. Let's just say it came through with rather choice words about Sarah.
Yeah.
You know, just rather choice kind of. I did have to apologise to her afterwards. I was just reiterating what it was saying, but it was quite. I don't shock easily, but I think kind of. I would feel the people down there at Loudon kind of like we're a different bunch, you know. But it was genuinely, we were shocked and we were genuinely kind of like surprised and everything. But I can genuinely see blind things. I've got the headphones on, and they're asking the question and everything like that. I'm just repeating what's coming through the recording. You know, I'm just repeating what's going on today. I don't know what they're answering, you know. It's complete kind of isolation. You're in your own wee world, just repeating the words. All of a sudden, it just comes out. Sarah is a bum, you know, whatever, you know, and it's just kind of like freaky, like you said, with the sentences.
We've had false sentences. One was it was a female voice, and I'd been saying that I'd been up at the house, up at the cottages, and it came through the app. And I think Laura also caught it on her voice recorder on her phone. He's been up at the house.
Yeah.
And we've had Scott's here, or Here Comes Scott or something.
Yeah.
Annie's been mentioned a few times. So, and that, to me, that proves that Spirit remembers.
Aye.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and
We were just talking about it the other night, right, Rigga? With the
Mhm.
man beat.
I'm having a wee bit of bother with my speakers. For some reason, my speakers are going a bit dodgy. Can you hear that? You're
I can hear
breaking-
you.
A little
Yes,
bit.
that's something. I can hear that.
You're breaking up a wee. Somebody say something.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
No, Rigga, you actually need to speak.
I did. Can you hear me?
can you hear me,
He's
Baldy?
at it, isn't he?
David, Craig, can you hear me talking?
I can hear you fine.
Aye, but it's getting zip for somebody to speak in there.
There's some sort of...
It's like an interference.
Aye.
Something's kind of coming
Do you
through.
hear that, P?
Yeah. It's as if there's something like radio. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to get my headphones. Right. So talk amongst yourselves. 2 minutes.
Just like,
I'll be back 1 minute.
we'll do sign
In the
language.
room.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Aye, David, as you were saying, we were talking about it.
Yeah. That's how you know. Then they are hearing you. They know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. They do under kind of like
You doing that crackle?
Ah,
Hello?
what,
Listening to that?
what you're saying, and they know who they got to visit a place. The more
Yeah.
the ghosts get to know your voices, get to know what you like.
What you're doing.
We do learn, you know.
Mhm.
We do learn. There he is,
Then
the
it-
DJ.
Yeah, that's it. And then they communicate with each other about what you're doing.
And that's it.
Well, we've heard that. We've heard that ourselves as well.
Aye, aye.
When the one it was, Edward, they're away out for a smoke. Remember that?
Aye. That was
Yeah.
And it was
Can
as
you see
clear
me?
as that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
Can
get
you see
some
me? Aye.
ghosts just
Aye.
warning them, just
unfortunately.
warning each other, just like don't speak to them or you
Aye,
know,
you get
in
things like that, aye.
you know.
But you ask yourself as well, like, there's locations that you know has got paranormal activity, witnessed it. Well, that's through very nice ears or whatever, or looking back at footage. You know that there's spirits there, but then you ask yourself, why? Why do they not want to come forward? Why? Is it the fact that they can't show themselves, or they can show themselves, or just choosing not to? Is there another spirit there that's saying, don't you communicate with them? Because,
That's
as I always say as well, if I was a spirit, I'm not saying I'll have the ability or that to maybe communicate, but if I did,
Yeah.
I'd be making my presence aware, you know what I mean? Have
I
a
think so.
wee laugh, you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
touch somebody or, oh, what's this? And like showing them, look, this is what happened when you passed away. You know what I mean? It's this is it. You're able to do this.
Mhm.
Well, I feel with
I
some of the more popular, sorry, David, with some of
No,
the
no,
more
carry on.
popular places, they kind of, you know, there's so many ghost people sort of like going there, so many ghost crews kind of like going there. The ghosts must get tired
Huh?
of every single night, and they must need a night off. They must just go for, you know, sake. You know, do we need to do this again? And just there's a kind of like a holiday. So, you know, just like we said, just because a place says it's had lots of experience or lots of basically lots of incidents, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get one that night. It doesn't necessarily mean that, because you know it could be an off night, it could be ghosts just tired, nothing happening, and then another group will come in the next night and get everything again. You know, but
I think a lot of them are like they're in visitation.
yeah,
It depends. You just happen to get them on the night. Or go back to what Rigga was talking about. Is there somebody there, one there that's saying, don't talk to them?
You've also got the fact as well that I've mentioned it loads of times, but also if you tend to do a lot of abandoned places and stuff like that, you don't know who's been there before.
Exactly.
Before you, if they've been there as an investigator or that, and they've maybe disrespected the spirits have maybe they built that trust and then they've just disrespected them. The spirits like, well, I'm not communicating with the next people that come, or is it the fact that as Craig was saying, if it is quite a highly known place, there's so many teams that go, and it does drain. It is draining for the spirit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Aye.
Yeah, I can hear you. See, when that was breaking up, did you hear it sounded like a girl's voice saying hello?
Yeah.
You heard it, I know. Because your daughter's in bed.
Right, so
I heard it did sound like some sort of voice.
Aye, it's like an interference, but like, as if it's picking up maybe, I don't know, radio, and somebody's talking, or speaking through a radio. It was definitely a female.
I do have to say, though, when Scott went to move off, Laura said something, so that might have come through.
Well,
but,
it was before that. It was like, you could tell it was a different voice,
Aye.
because you could make out their voice.
Yeah. I did hear something.
On a dating website.
Baldies are us.
Fatties are us.
Oh, you're getting personal.
That is that.
Scott, how did we meet? I think I was watching one of your lives and I just messaged you. I'm pretty sure.
Grinder.
Just asked if you wanted to collaborate.
I'm going to look stupid here. What's Grinder?
It's a dating website for the same sex.
Grinder.
Gay Tinder.
Tinder.
For gay.
Gay Tinder. Right. Kate, you and I will talk later on, though.
Scott's going on as if he doesn't even know what it is. He well knows what it is.
I've never heard the Grinder. I've heard the Tinder. I've never heard the Grinder.
It's a dating website for the same sex, shall we say? And I think that's how we met, Scott. I think I just came out the blue and messaged you one night. Just asking for
I was in. We were in Greyfriars. I was doing.
You were doing a walkabout.
And you asked me if I wanted to date. Meet up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you say it. It sounds bad, doesn't it?
But you were a bit hesitant because of things that happened before that as well. Without getting into too much detail.
There have been stuff that happened in the past, and I spoke to Sarah about it, and I thought I'm not too sure. I'm kind of 50-50. And that's how. And then the first time we spoke, I says to you, "Well, I'll be honest with you. This is why I've not got in touch because of X, Y, and Z." But then it turned out all right, and Rigga begged to come out with PIH, and my backdrop's falling down in it.
Ooh, spooky.
High tech.
As they say in Jurassic Park,
Is that a cheap version?
Bear with me a minute, guys.
Get that one off your team.
Sheen.
We just get the high tech studio equipment.
It's my granny's old. I don't believe that happened.
That's the first time that's happened. I don't think that's ever happened before.
That's never happened in the 3.5 whatever year we've been doing this.
Voices and then that. Ooh.
Somebody's telling you.
Ooh.
Talk about yourselves.
Aye, that's Scott's a bit of a dough ball, isn't he?
Yeah. I can't really say anything. He's my gaffer, but yeah, that just made my night. That's just.
Aye, that be aye.
It's like, man, trust it to happen on a Spig live, you know.
Do you know what I mean?
That was that.
Absolutely disgraceful.
And we were all here to witness it. You can't deny it. But
Roasted.
basically,
Now I'm back in my studio. I don't know how, because my chair's no anywhere near it. What? There's a gap. There's a fixed gap between my chair and the thing. And there are cats on there in here.
Mhm.
It's never collapsed before. Well,
Unexplainable.
there goes the reputation. But no, that's all right. It's a bag. I mean, we had visitors up for down south, and what, you know, when we stayed in the other house, and they came in, and one of them was looking about the house, and I was, you know, what's up? He said, I'm looking for your studio. So what? I'm looking for your studio. I said, you're standing in it. And there was a living room. And you think I just slapped him in the face with a banana or something, with a haggis or something. He's like, huh?
Haggis.
And, so I keep it on it's a big grey duffel kind of bag thing. And I went in and I says, look, and I showed him the back. I says, that's my studio. And he couldn't understand it. And I says, it's uprights and it's a backdrop. Now the illusion is broken. It is, Eric.
Aye,
Do you know
definitely.
what it could have been a lot worse if that backdrop had fell and there was a big painting of you in the buff.
I can't see nothing to that.
Or if your chair collapsed.
You don't want that image. That's...
No, you don't. No.
Just a picture of Scott naked eating a grape.
A bunch of grapes.
Why a grape?
I don't know.
I mean, Eric's right, but
What goes into your mind? What part of your mind conjures these sort of like nightmarish images?
I don't know.
Eric's quite right, but
Seen it
because
before.
I could be anywhere, you know, with the back. I could be in the Caribbean or wherever, and but now everybody knows that I'm in my living room and there's a dining table behind me. You know what I mean? We don't want to go. Oh, the compliments are flying high tonight. Eric says, "Don't want to go flying." And Kate, you know, says we met on Grindr.
Mm-hmm. My wife is remaining quiet, and this is totally suspicious.
What's Rigga's best advice for being a parent?
Taser.
Unusual one. Your wife. Your wife is quite quiet tonight, Craig.
Okay, I would say a good taser.
Oh, dear.
They like to be on sit beside you.
No, I would say
Having that.
time. You know what I mean? Being quite strict with set times, all that sort of stuff. Like, because we're quite strict with events, bedtime, dinner time, a routine basically. So, aye.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say learn how to drop kick properly.
That as well.
Yeah.
That's very important, you know. I still can't get away with that collapsing. I don't know. See, we've done over 500 of these, and it's never ever happened before.
Well, it would happen when we're on.
Yeah, it would happen with you guys. You'll never remind him of that again that night that it collapsed when you were on.
Well, is that Laura shouting?
Yeah, I think she's getting mixed up. She said I slept. I think she was talking about. She thinks I was talking about your heart attack, but no, yeah. But I said that basically, Rigga, Rigga's a good guy. He'll never constantly remind you of that night you're set down or anything. You know.
I believe it.
You know, he just won't do it. He's too nice a guy just not to keep reminding. You know.
Thank you for the kind words, Craig.
Yep.
Right, is that you done with Craig, aye?
Yeah.
Aye. But I don't know. I don't know what happens in it. So, but that's what makes a good live when things unexpected. Same as out investigating. You know, when these things happen. During the a couple of years ago, we did a big quiz with CRA Entertainment and with David and Craig and all the stars of the film zone, and we did a big movie quiz.
Mhm.
You know, and my chair collapsed. It was the feet of the bottom. It snapped, and the chair just gave up the ghost.
See, the thing is, Scott, that's explainable.
Yeah.
Why that would have happened.
You're too fat.
Yes.
We read each other's minds so well.
All you could see was this little mound of fleshy head.
Oh, you were going to say hair there, weren't you?
You know?
No chance.
It happens, doesn't it? And so that night, on my way to the floor, I kicked out the camera cable. So apart from it, I watched it back later on. You just see me kind of whoomphing and the camera goes off, and all CRE sitting there on the panel, not having a clue what's going on. Fat people are harder to kidnap. Apart from being a full-time investigator, what job would Rigga's getting the questions, David Journal?
That's all right. I'm listening and learning.
Right. So, what would be your ideal job, Rigga?
My name in the Hollywood lights.
Realistic.
I would like to be the next James Bond. No.
Like Jesse.
Miss Moneypenny.
I don't know. Years ago, it would have always been. I'd like to be a football player, but I knackered that. So, pretty much, to be honest, I'm quite happy where I'm at the moment. With the job I've got, and obviously with the team that we've got and stuff like that. So, quite happy at the moment.
I thought this was a live interview in Rigga. I missed too much of the live. Just jump back in after the beginning. No, what it is tonight, Kate? Rigga, we've had them on many times, but Rigga has been chewing my lugs for us to interview him. And so, because I said at the beginning, we've never asked him any questions because I wasn't really interested. You know what I'm saying? Could be annoyed, basically. So I made up a list of questions for him earlier on, you know, to go over. So I've covered them so far. So we were trying to be professional and make it all, you know, nice and neat, but that's never going to happen, is it? I'd love to be the next OnlyFans pin-up that never going to happen. Right. So far tonight we've had Grindr, Tinder, OnlyFans, and my set has collapsed. That sounds quite posh, doesn't it? My set collapsed. You know? My backdrop fell down, in other words. But I mean, that what Kate asked, you know, it must be interesting to be a mortician. I've always wondered about that. I actually did apply decades ago for a mortician assistant, whatever it was, because I just wanted to see dead bodies, basically. And I get knocked back, you know. But how you become a quiet job? I think so. You really get a lot of action. No unless you sort of went that illegal way. No, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't need Grindr. Put it that way.
No, you wouldn't get many knockbacks anyway, would you?
This life is like a roller coaster, except it's only going one way. It's just going down and down.
Now, what do you mean, Craig? Basically, this life's went down the toilet. To be honest. Yeah.
Along with your Wally's.
I'd be your backdrop.
And my speakers. Forget the speakers. it started off with good intentions and being professional, but it's just went down the pan. You know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, there's too many of these shows. I was going to say on TV. Well, on TV as well, but on YouTube. And I've seen that many a
I
time.
think they get worse.
You know,
a lot of them get worse as they go.
But it's the serious ones that I can't go. I mean, you're sitting watching it for 5 minutes and you just want to go and dig up your granny and say hello to her. You just want, you know.
I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, I watch them right at night. I'm sitting watching them on the telly up there. And my wife will go, Ivy, typically you, I criticise them for saying that's not right. Do you know what I mean? She'll say, well, switch it off then. It's just because you do this thing, you know it's not right, if you know what I mean.
But you don't want to switch it off. I mean, I do it some nights. You know, there's 2 or 3, I'm not going to name them. Well, most haunted one, so that most haunted, you know, that I'll stick on some nights if I can't sleep. It's most nights. And I'll watch it and it's you're cringing and it's boring.
Yeah.
You know, and as I say, you just want to dig up your dead granny. But you still watch it to the end. You know, even though you know it's a load of but who cares? Away again.
It's entertainment, man. It's entertainment.
Makes you want to dig it. She's never going to let me forget this.
David,
when I was young, when I was a teenager, we've got 2 cats, but when I was a teenager, I hated them. Well, up until about 4 years ago, I hated cats. My mum had a cat. I must have been, I don't know, 14, 15. Kate will probably tell you better because she remembers better than me. My mum had a cat and I hated it. And I stuck it in the machine one day. But my mum caught me before I pressed the on button. No, which was unfortunate for me and damn lucky for the cat. You know? So that's what that comment's about, because I tried to machine wash my mum's cat. Because it was a wee, but we'll not go in there. Some of these shows are that bad that you have to watch them. You know, it's like, you know, they pathetic films. We watched a film just before Christmas. Was it Christmas with Karen or something? A Christmas Karen. It was an American. Have you seen it? How bad is it?
I know.
We sat and watched it to the end because we were wanting to know how it turned out. You know, and you're sitting there and you're bored, you're picking your toenails and I just wanted to find out the end of it.
I know. I end up switching off.
I guess that bad, but tonight's interview just went to pot, folks. I do apologise. Well, I'm not going to apologise because, hey ho.
It's fun.
But I think we're going to wind it up there, ladies, if Craig comes back.
I'm just coming back.
Always a pleasure, Jenny. Thank you, Laura, dear. So I was going to wind up, but where can people find you and not behind my backdrop?
Find us on Facebook. David's went and started up a YouTube channel, so find us on there as well.
TikTok.
So I think it's once you reach 50 in it, you can go live on YouTube because we've not really done a live for a while.
Yeah.
So once we get to that, we'll maybe go live. But you'll find us on the 3 platforms.
Yeah. We've got 23 subscribers now, so we're halfway there.
Yeah.
I think we're 428 or something, but we've had our channel for about 3.5 years, so it's something you don't actually bother me much as you. I actually forget we've got it. Last thing, events. Plug your event, your idea for your events coming up. Get it out there, guys.
Aye. So we're having a discussion. David's done events before. Liz has as well. I've not. It's a thing that I'd always say that it's something that no interested in. But we did have a discussion when we were out investigating at the Renfrew Baths, and we come up. We always like to try and get people out, get them involved. We always mention it. We always mention it on the Hangover on the page. We just like to get people out. However, there is that risk factor of getting a person or two or three or whatever out, and you're going to an abandoned place or whatever, and they end up injuring themselves. There's always that kind of risk factor. It's freezing cold. They might not enjoy it. So that's where we're going to start doing Spig events, where we'll book a location and we'll take public along. I just want to mention as well that it's not going to be overpriced, because we know that there's a lot of teams out there that overprice these things, overcharge, you don't get involved with the members of the public and stuff like that. So we have to put on board a lot of things that need to get put in place. We're looking to get a location, hopefully by the end of April.
Yep.
And then we'll get that posted up in the event section. Again, I've not really got a clue, so it will more likely be David and Liz that will maybe be taking it. Not that I'm putting any pressure on you, David, just because they're used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get everything covered before we go ahead and finalise a location. We will be aiming roughly to maybe day one every 2 months, give or take. But we still will be doing what we enjoy doing, and that's abandoned, private. The public one they'll come in, and it's just basically get folk out and experience it in a safe environment where they can get teas and coffees and shelter, toilet, all that sort of stuff. So as a thing that we're doing. It's not to say that it'll run smoothly to start off with, but we're just trying to get it that the public can get the best experience, because it is their investigation. So I've been to one where the guy, you know what I'm talking about, the guy just didn't get involved with the public that paid the money. And I get people pay the charge well over and above on the tickets. You know what I mean? So yours will be reasonable. It's not going to be the case that we're overcharging them or pocketing all this money. It's not going to be like that. It's just basically going to be that the public can experience it firsthand in a safe environment.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out on our page, folks, for that coming up. And you'll be hoping you're out with David rather than Rigga.
Well, Liz already told me that I talk too much. So, Liz, Hen, if you're watching this or whatever, you decide to watch this and you come across this, but I know I talk too much. I know I do. But don't you worry, when it comes to the old public, I'm not even going to say one word.
He'll be a shy boy.
I'd pay to see that. I would pay to see him shut up.
I'm Rigga.
You'll just see that strange guy lurking in the background, basically freaking people out.
With the overcoat on.
But I know, it'll be good. As a thing that obviously we never rushed into. David will know more than anybody that it's a thing that I've always said that I'm not interested in. But we did speak about it, and it is, you know what it's like. There is that risk factor if you take a member of public out to somewhere abandoned. You've got the weather, all that sort of stuff. If they don't drive, you're picking them up. Something might happen. They might get injured or something like that. You know what I mean? So with the public thing, fine, fair enough. They'll need to purchase a ticket, but that gets them into a location, and they're going to be in a safe environment as well. But we're kind of aiming to maybe 6 hours. I think maybe a 6-hour investigation's quite reasonable.
Yeah.
So by the time you get a rundown in where the safety points, where the exits are, and stuff like that, smoking areas and things like that. We don't want to eat too much into the time, because these people are paying to come along. You know what I mean? Where you will get people that don't care about that. They'll just be like, it's going to be X, Y, and Z. I seen a guy who was putting up some sort of castle or whatever it was for 8 hours investigation, £140 a ticket.
Scandalous.
No, it's ridiculous prices. Obviously, we'll get free passes to your events.
Well, the thing is as well, we will be looking to do like collaborations with teams and public ones and that as well. just for the simple fact is it's a safe environment.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about walking rubble and falling down a hole or slipping, because we've had it ourselves when we were out one time and there was a guy who was and he'd fell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And luckily enough, he never injured himself, but he could have.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And then that's on us.
Aye, very easily.
So there is a lot that there is a lot to go into it, but hopefully it'll take off and we'll get people that.
Good, and we, as I said to the college the other day, we will hire out Loudon to you.
Yes. You can come along, Scott, and be the T-boy if you want.
Aye, I'll be the key boy. I'll be the bitch boy. You know, aye, okay. I'll hang on to you guys for a wee second after the all right, ladies. So that's it for. I can rip up my question sheet now.
That's a lot of paper. Hope you've got enough space in the bin to put that in.
Yeah.
That's done. So we'll wind up there, folks. Thanks to Rigga, David, and Craig for coming on. I know if I injure myself, it's my own fault. Exactly. I started all serious, then just went down the toilet, basically. But you know, that's what happens with life. But just before we go, I want to say a big thanks again to Melanie, David, and Craig for coming on last night for the Elvis show that we've done. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's us for tonight. We're back Monday with Paige Dalton and Cara Phillips, who will be coming in to see us. And a couple of things. We will be carrying on with Loudon very shortly. We've confirmed with the Society of William Wallace that we'll start filming the Wallace Trail on the 17th of March. Obviously, David Espinosa's on board with that as well. And we'll be carrying on with, we've got another show with Paulina coming up next couple of weeks, I think. And we'll be carrying on with our Glasgow thing as well. So that's still to come. But that's it for tonight and the weekend. So have a great weekend, folks. And thanks again to these ladies for joining me and to everybody in the chat. And we'll see you Monday. Take care, folks. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.